why am I holding it in the car? Because some fucking dickhead decided to cut this thing. All right, guys, before we jump too far into the Marauder first start video, I want to mention that we have a lot of merch in stock: t-shirts, hats, hoodies. It's getting cold, it's Christmas time, so we are actually gearing up to do a mystery box bundle. So you can basically pick your size. You're gonna get various different items there. You're gonna get guaranteed a shirt, a keychain, 2 stickers, and then there's gonna be a mystery item. That could be a hoodie, that could be a hat. It could also be a free tune. There's also going to be one of those thrown in there. So if you guys are interested in picking up any of the Mustang lifestyle merch, we got it in stock on the shelves, ready to go out. Go check it out on the website. $34.99 will get you a mystery box, which it's going to get you pretty much any one of this stuff. One other piece of news is Black Friday is here, and I'm not really one to go crazy on Black Friday sales and shove it all in your faces, but I know a lot of you guys are on the fence about doing a mega squirt in one of your cars. Well, we have 10% off the remote tune package as well as the ECU. You can use this code right on screen and that'll take 10% off your order if you need a little bit of motivation to get it done. The remote tuning package, we set up a remote session. I tune your car live on the computer. You can tell me anything that's going on. We will dial it in and get it all 100%. I do this a lot with anything from 200 to 300 horsepower, 2-valve, 4-valve combos, all the way up to 1,000 wheel horsepower, remote tuned Cobra 4-valve setups, or really anything. So definitely check that out on the website, and let's get back to the video. What's going on, guys? We are back with the Coyote swapped Marauder with a GT500 blower. So some of you guys get worked up, GT500 swap this, that, you know. Look, it's a GT500 swapped blower. Happens to be a Gen 3 Coyote, but that's what we're calling it. So this thing's gonna be sweet. In the last video, I got a lot of the wiring kind of plumbed and a lot of things are plugged in. So we're actually pretty close to starting it. We gotta do the fuel system today, but we got under here, we got the key on. So when you key it on, you'll actually hear the throttle body will actually open and close. Do the test yet. And then it actually turns over on the key, which is pretty cool. What we gotta accomplish is the fuel system. We're missing the fuel hat. However, there's a possibility we could get it to start. I have a fuel cell over there with an external pump. If I do most of the work for the engine bay, we can probably run it off that fuel cell and get it to start up. We still got a cross member to do. We still got a tranny cooler. We still got Volvo electric power steering. We still have the intercooler pump lines to do. But if it starts, it'll be fucking cool. So we actually picked up a drive shaft from LKQ. We went to LKQ pick and pull this morning. We found an 09 or 08 Explorer 4.6 3-valve 2-wheel drive, which is a very hard combo to find because most are either 4-wheel drive or V6. However, they have this unicorn aluminum drive shaft. And why am I holding it in the car? Because some fucking dickhead decided to cut this thing. We still pulled it anyways because we said we want to make sure this works. And they charged us 20 bucks for it, which isn't bad because we were able to test fit it. But like, check this out. Like, this is bolt-in $60 drive shaft right here. It's aluminum. Like, I would trust this to a lot of horsepower. This looks very similar to your, DSS or something like that you would pick up aftermarket. Ford OEM quality, nice flanges. I think this is gonna work. So unfortunately that one's cut. So we're gonna be looking out for a 4.6 3-valve Explorer 2008, 2009, something like that. 2-wheel drive, aluminum drive shaft. If you guys have one, let me know. You probably don't because it's a really weird combo. But we're gonna be looking out on those junkyards for one of those. That's gonna save a lot of money on this build because I was expecting $1,000 to $2,000 for a custom drive shaft. So that'll be sick. Okay, so fuel system. I actually have a set of ID 1050Xs. We're gonna roll with this. That should be good for 900 wheel horsepower or so. How we're gonna run this. So I found that the O2 Crown Vic has a return style fuel system hat. not my favorite thing, but you cannot buy a billet hat for these. So we're gonna put that in place. We're gonna strap 2 Walbro 465s to it, run a T up. It's gonna go to a 3/8 quick connect. It's gonna go to 8AN. From there, 8AN forward, Y block. The Y block's gonna come up somewhere through here, and we're gonna hit our rail with 8 right here in the back. So 8AN in, and then we're gonna return either, this side's probably gonna go out around over there, and our regulator's gonna sit there. Return line's gonna go back that way. We did realize that USPS screwed us, and the fitting we need that goes to the DI system. So basically this right here. So it's like a 1/8 inch NPT to 3/8 fuel line. That, we really need that to start. So unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna start today. We got the return lines done. So this is return off the rail. So we're gonna feed in the back, return, swoops over, hits the regulator. Regulator's right here. So Bradley helped with the decision making. I was originally thinking just putting the fuel line across to here,
which would have looked super ghetto and dumb.
Yeah, so I
told him, let's do it the right way, and let's just make it come here. That way it's symmetrical on both sides. It's
and
clean.
once the cowl's on, you're not going to see any
right.
of this
Yeah, with the cowl there, none of that's even going to be visible. So it'll look nice and clean.
So we got the regulator mounted here. We actually got the return line shoved down underneath, and that's pretty much ready to go to the fuel hat, which shows up tomorrow as well. This is kind of the best way to build a 1,000+ horsepower fuel system, with a few caveats because we're working with what we got for this platform. But yeah, having 2 feeds, 2 returns to the regulator and back, that's the best way to do it. Okay, so we got all sad, kind of mopey because we didn't have the fitting. Well,
we drowned our sorrows in some clovers.
I found some T's and some different things that we worked up to hook in the DI system. And we have my handy dandy fuel cell. Here's our return line. We're gonna hook our feed, which we actually built the fuel lines to the Y block to here. So we didn't backstep, but we ran them back out the car.
We're just sidestepping right now.
We're sidestepping, but this will go into there, and I think that should support 65 PSI for idle. We're gonna fire it up on here. Obviously the plan is to put the fuel hat in the back, right, but we want to hear this thing run. So
absolutely. And we'll take a look at this. Take a look at this wonderful X pipe we got here.
Well, this was just to
this was just to mock it up, see what it's going to look at. Which we're kind of learning that we might have some interference here with the
trans-cross
member,
maybe
not. Nothing's sitting kind of set in stone.
The goal of this was just so that when we do start it, the widebands are going to actually read something.
Right, and not get washed out and say that they're lean.
Yeah, if you ever started a Coyote car without widebands, or if you do in the future and it runs poorly, well, it's because this sensor is going to read lean because it's just picking up all the open air, especially at idle. This right here is not permanent. I'm gonna run that little 1/8 inch MPT to 3/8 quick connect to the stock DI. But I found this little rig that I had, which was a T, and then I found this 3/8 stock connect. And assuming these lines don't leak, this should work.
I think this sucker is pretty much ready to go. All right, let's see what happens.
Tuned yet, but you hear that thing? For some reason, HP tuners won't read the ECU, but that's a stock tune right there. And it revs up. You want to see the screen over here? All right, guys, so we have actually made some really good progress today on the Marauder. Well, it runs. So that's the first time this thing has started up in my possession. We pulled this out of a wrecked car. I wasn't able to start it. There was a few things that were too messed up on the car to start. One of the reasons why I kept this one for myself rather than selling it is because I never heard it run. I just heard it run, so I'm pretty happy with that. I also tore this apart and did oil pump gear and crank gear, and everything turned out fantastic with that. So I'm so freaking excited. So we still have a lot to button up. We got to get the cooling system done, both on the engine side and the blower side. That's a work in progress, but we're pretty close there. We got to run the alternator over. We got to build power steering. We got to finish the rest of the fuel system, but our lines that we did here in the engine bay do work. So that's really, really good. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this janky fuel system, and we're gonna continue on running the rest of the fuel system backwards, hit the fuel filter, then go to the stock tank. We still got a long ways to go. You know, we got an intercooler pump to wire up. We got a transcooler to wire up. We got the front bumper to test fit to make sure that's all good. We got the heat exchanger up front. I didn't even mention that, but this is pretty cool. This is a Department of Boost Super Single combined with a Mustang tubular front support. And based on my measurements, this is gonna fit the front bumper, which is pretty sweet. We also obviously got the key on working, so you can key on and start with the key, which is pretty freaking awesome. We got our wires kind of tucked up over there. We're gonna have to figure out the gas pedal. We got somewhat of a starter exhaust system. Our main thing is to get this thing driving is gonna be the drive shaft and the cross member. We gotta get those things, we gotta find one. Obviously, we know that this is gonna work. We just need to find one that's not broken. But overall, I mean, it's really, really coming along. I am having an issue with HP Tuners. It's not able to read the file, the control pack file. So we're gonna have to do some more investigating there and figure out what's going on. I've tried every possible solution. This started up on the regular tune, but I think the reason why it actually works, so the 1050Xs will obviously produce more fuel when commanded as the stock injectors, but we're on E85. So because it was commanding more fuel, it needed more fuel, and it kind of balanced itself out. You know, I'm not gonna say it's running great, because you guys heard it stall a bunch of times, but for an untuned combo, it kind of worked out. So that's cool. If you guys are excited for the Marauder build, I mean, this thing is gonna be freaking sweet. I also can't wait to actually clean this thing, because when I first got it, it wasn't that dirty, but because it sat for, I mean, it took me well over a year to kind of gather all the parts and, you know, kind of the time to pull it apart and then start actually getting down to business. We still got a lot of work to do, but hearing that thing run just gives you the motivation to just keep moving forward. So we got to finish up the fuel system, just one step at a time. Usually each day I try to just knock out one thing, and it's just coming along. So you guys know long projects, they can take a while, especially something like this that hasn't been done before. You can't just buy all these parts and bolt them on. You got to try different things, cut different things, do some weird stuff, but we are getting there for sure. I know you guys are all asking about the GT500. The rotating assembly is just about done being balanced, so we're gonna pick that up, start getting the short block together. The heads are still working on getting fixed, but hopefully this baby will be back soon. I'm hoping that we can finish this up, get Turdzilla finished up. We got a turbo kit for that. We got OG in the works. I got some crazy stuff going on for that, but hope you guys are here. Stay tuned for everything, and this Marauder here is going to be so much fun. It's going to be one of the craziest sleeper builds out there on YouTube. So we will see you guys in the next one.